Good morning, class. How are you feeling today? Great. How about me? Well, I feel wonderful. Thank you for asking. Please take your seats. So we agreed yesterday that you will be in charge of giving us a recall on what we did yesterday. So I think it's Miss Moana's turn to give us a short overview of our activity yesterday. Alright. So Miss Moana, please stand up. Thank you very much. Please take your seat. So yesterday, you were able to read and analyze the poem entitled The African Child. So you were able to understand, you were able to describe the thoughts of the poem. Okay, very good. So today, we are going to create your own version of the African Child poem, expressing your dreams, your thoughts, and your aspiration. And of course, we also want your statements to be parallel. That is why, in short part of our meeting, we will be talking about parallelism using gerunds and infinitives. So suppose you are participating in a poetry writing and recitation contest. As a participant, of course, you should be able to write a poem and deliver it to your audience. Before we deliver our poem, of course, we have to create it. We are going to create it all together. So we will be following some few steps before you memorize your own piece. Okay? So here are the stages. We have the pre-writing activity. Next, we have the writing activity. And third, we have the post-writing activity. So these are the stages that we are going to follow while making the poem. Now, what happens during the pre-writing activity? You're going to move with your partners and brainstorm the contents of your poem. Please be aware that the two of you should not have the same piece, okay? So that's it. You're going to brainstorm, collect ideas, select ideas, and outline those ideas so that you have an idea on what you are going to write. So I will be handing over some handouts that contains samples of outline for you to be guided. The second stage will be the writing stage. So in that point or in that stage, we will all together write the poems coming from our outlines or coming from our scratch pads. Okay? And the third stage, of course, you're going to hand over your final output to your classmate and try to evaluate their work. Okay? So again, let me remind everybody the stages that we are going to go through while writing your creative poem. So first, we have the pre-writing activity. Next, we have the writing proper. And third, we have the post-writing activity. Now, at this juncture, before going to your pairs, let us try to make sure that our phrases are parallel with each other. So what am I talking about? Let us compare two statements. Number 1, she loves to eat, drinking, and exercising. Number 2, she loves eating, drinking, and exercising. Question: are they telling the same thing? Are they telling the same thing? Who wants to answer? Yes, Justin. Very good. They are telling the same thing. place it down. But what is the difference between the two sentences? Yes? Okay, very good. It's the word eating and the other one is to eat. In English language, it's important to use parallelism in your own sentences. Mixing verbs like gerund and infinitive in one sentence is very unnatural to the native speakers. That is why parallelism provides a balance to your clauses. So let us recall. Recall that verbs in gerund form are those verbs ending in ing. For example, eating, drinking, exercising, jumping, crying, showing. So those are gerunds. Now verbs in infinitive form start with to or to plus the basic form of the verb. For example, to eat, to drink, to exercise, to show, to cry. So those are verbs in infinitive form. So, ladies and gentlemen, if gerund and infinitive verb are found in one sentences, it's very unparalleled. Then we either make it all gerunds or make it all infinitives. Okay? Now, one last activity to evaluate if you really understand what is parallelism. So, let's have a short big group activity. So, here is the directions. Raise your right hand if the statement is parallel. Raise your left hand if the statement is unparalleled. Again, raise your right hand if the statement is parallel and raise your left hand if the statement is unparalleled. Are you ready? Very good. So let's get started. Assuming that I'm done with the activity. Ta-da! Thank you very much. So now you can proceed to your pair to have the brainstorming and outlining.